Welcome to Tales from the Flipside. We're bringing you the Pro Spec list live today. Happy Thursday, everyone. I hope you had a good new comic book day.
Yo, hold on. I think. Yep.
Am I lagging?
I think we lost Phil.
Yeah, he'll be back. So, all right. Welcome in, everyone. So I am going to post a link to so you as a viewer can vote for what the top 15 books of what you think should be. So let me go ahead and share that link to in the chat. And then I will log into YouTube in a second to pin it. So if anyone joins late, they can vote. So this is a poll junkie, and go ahead and drag and drop the list in which order you think the book should be. We have our votes locked in already, so this is a fresh list for you to vote, and let us know what you would rank the books for. And let me get into our show real quick so I can pin this. And let me share out the list. How's it going, Mass Collectibles? Yeah, so we're excited to do the Prospect list live, and so this is a bit different for us because it's usually pre-recorded, but we wanted to bring it live to you on a Thursday. So welcome in, everyone, and let's go ahead and get started with our number 15 book. We have Champions number 7. Is Phil frozen again?
Yeah, Phil's frozen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about my dog. Yeah, actually, I don't know the play on this book for the only thing I know about it is that Black Widow is involved in the storyline, and I'm sure once Phil gets back, he can enlighten us a little bit more on it.
I think the big play is Iceman in this one. I think that's the big play.
All right. As soon as Phil gets back, we'll let him explain what Champion 7 is all about. So let's move on to our number 14 book. At number 14, we have The Life of Captain Marvel number 1, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from 2018.
I think this is the first time that Kamala and Carol Danvers appear on a cover, right? Taking the selfie together. I think this was it's still hard to find book in a high grade. I think that this for collectors of Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel, this might be one to maybe take a chance on. The Miss Marvel show coming up. I mean, it's about to get scalding hot for Kamala Khan, that's for sure.
And I'll definitely come over the top on that as well. We're at a point in comic book speculation where the 9th, 10th, 11th book is still the book to have because there's still profit to be made on it. So if you see a great cover for a character, I mean, like we're in that moment right now with Kang. If you see a great cover for a character, don't hesitate to grab it. If it's going for cover price, if it's going for maybe $5 or something like that, it's probably still a smart play in high grade because somebody's probably going to buy it from you.
Good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 13. At number 13, we have the Department of Truth, number 4, the 1 in 25. So this is a Jeff Lemire cover, and it's one of those early incentive variants for a storyline, and with the Department of Truth, it became super popular really fast. But I feel like with this book, it cooled down quite a bit. And the one person I do remember talking about this cover a lot was Gary Nesser. So I want to give a shout out to him for talking about this book. Super impressive Jeff Lemire cover. And this was actually nominated by Blue Green Artifacts, Tony. And what he was telling me is that it reminded him of, I Sketch Comics. I love Department of Truth also, but the thing that reminded him of this was like it's different than all the other covers. That it looks like it was a drawing that was done by like a middle schooler, just like doodling away in a notebook, compared to like all the other covers where it's like super dark and like, which I think Tony was saying that he's not too big of a fan of all the covers collectively, but like this one stuck out for him. Good pick. Hey Phil, welcome back.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
You guys,
do we want to do you want to explain Champions number 7 real quick before we keep on moving on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just saw in the comments. Yeah. So this is first Dark Star. Yes, part of the Red Guard. I was at Walmart last week and I saw a Dark Star Legends figure out on the shelf, and I was like, oh man, toy spec usually isn't like such like great spec, but it is a long play, right? I mean, we all remember what happened with Darkhawk a few years ago, right? And now he's in play with his own project. I also like this character a lot. Her superpowers haven't been used yet so far in the MCU. She can tap into the Dark Force matter and dimensions. She's also got connections with the X-Men universe, Phantom X Corporation, also romantically involved with Iceman as well. So yeah, could be a possible play later for Captain Marvel, maybe, and for her universe. So I like to play a lot. It's a good Bronze Age book, and there's also a price variant as well for this one too.
Sorry, something is happening for me at work.
You guys got that?
All right. Yep. All right. Let me move on to number. Nope. Our number 12 book. We have Miss Marvel number 29.
Yeah. So this is Baby Spec, first Malik Khan, nephew of Kamala Khan, shown to have some powers later in Miss Marvel 37. Can't get enough Baby Spec on the cheap, so look out for this one. Cool cover too.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a time when we would have poo-pooed all over Baby Spec, but when you've got a TV show coming, like, you've got to fill it out with a cast of characters outside of the plucky best friend and the parents. So having siblings, having nieces and nephews make appearances is laying the groundwork for future seasons, for characters to be introed. I mean, everybody was again against that whole Monica Rambeau spec when she was a child in the movie, because they're like, oh well, how are we going to she made an appearance, but are we really going to see her in an MCU canon, like true as an adult powered up in MCU canon anytime soon? And then we jump multiple years forward in the future. So again, nothing's out of the realm of possibility when you're dealing with Marvel and them filling out a complete roster for a television show or movie.
All right. At our number 11 book, we have Moon Knight number 1, the 1 in 25.
Yeah, really cool, unexpected, detailed variant cover here. Super hard to get. It's a 1 in 25 Marco Rudy variant. The person who picked this book, I'm not sure who it was, but yeah, they quoted, tattoos, blood splatter, and art makes this cover a big one. So I've never seen this one in the wild. I'm not sure if you guys have or in the audience, but yeah, definitely good time to load up on Moon Knight variants that are hard to get before the Moon Knight gets on screen,
Oh, that might be a ghost, Phil. I mean, I have never seen that book, so we have to do some more research on that. But I mean, it's a pretty cool cover.
100%.
All right, for our number 10 book, we have Middlewest #1, the third print. This was nominated by Blue Green Artifacts.
Yeah, so this basically Scotty Young has a lot of clout in the industry at this point. I mean, doing the likes of Strange Academy, relaunching I Hate Fairyland on Short Stack. His new series, Me You Love in the Dark, is doing extremely well. So this was Middlewest was some spec from what was it, almost 3 years ago that we were all very big on, and it's the, as Mel likes to say, the what have you done for me lately type scenario. This is definitely a book that's worth revisiting. The 1 in 20 was definitely of all those was really the book to have, but that got out of the building real fast value wise. So picking up this third print is still a great opportunity to invest in a book that's print runs a little bit on the lower side and still have potential to make some real money on.
All right, at our number 9 book, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 679.1.
Yeah, so this book's been talked about over the last couple of weeks, and with the Spider-Man trailer coming out, I mean, everything Spider-Man is really taking off. This is kind of what really started it all for John Tyler Christopher, the negative space variant. This one is timeless. It's one of those that you have to have in your collection. I mean, this is just a fantastic cover. Trying to find these in 9.8, I didn't check the census, but this is always a tough book to get in a high grade because of that blue border. Any little piece of white sticking out, it's a 9.6 or a 9.4. I mean, but if you find one in high grade, definitely get it sent in.
Great spec from Dollar Bin. All right, for our number 8 book, we have Web Warriors #2, the Dell Auto variant.
I mean, just another great cover from Gabriel Delato. I mean, it's just you got Peter Porker and you got Spider Gwen there. I mean, I haven't seen too many of these out in the wild. I don't know, Phil. What do you think? Was this a ratio? Would a qualifier? Do you remember? Did we lose Phil?
Yep, looks like he's frozen again. Let's see. Web Warriors #2. What was the story behind this guy?
I think Phil was going to say it's a badass book.
So Brian Wells was telling us it's a 1 in 25.
Oh, 1 in 25? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think, especially with, the multiverse coming into play, and then we also have the upcoming of Into the Spider-Verse 2, it's going to be hard to imagine that these 3 characters do not show up again in the animation. And then who knows what will happen with the No Way Home.
Yeah, so to kind of reiterate, I think maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was mentioning or pushing potential Into the Spider-Verse 2 spec. This is ultimately the storyline I think they're going to go with. Again, this is one of the side stories that takes place in the greater original Spider Verse storyline. But still, it's a great cover with these 3 characters. They all survived the first movie, so I see a strong possibility of them all returning. They're already kind of teasing that love affair in between Spider-Gwen and Miles in the movie. So I again see this being a very strong contender to make you some money when we get to probably December of next year with Into the Spider-Verse 2.
Not bad. What up, gentlemen?
How's it going?
I
Hey, how's it
figured
going?
I'd come on and hang out with you guys now that you're live and just hang out with you. So I'm just going to chill.
All right, cool.
I'll be dropping side comments as we go. And what up to the 99 people watching you guys live right now? Pretty dope.
Yeah, and then we have our poll junkie currently posted pinned as a comment, so they can click on the link and vote themselves. And then I'll reveal the results at the end of the stream once we finish our top 10.
Very cool, brother. All right, man.
All right. So for our number 7, thank you. For our number 7 book, we have Champions number 22, the second print.
Yeah, I love this book as far as speculation. I mean, this is the first time you see Riri's brand new outfit on cover. And you've got Amadeus Cho with her right there. I mean, these second printings, especially when they do a different cover, I mean, they're worth picking up. Yeah, I mean, these are hard to find, very hard to find. And if you're a Riri collector or you're smart, like, you'll pick this one up. This cover is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a real big. I'm surprised that like a 9/8 slab is not like $200-300, because that's going to be her costume. I mean, let's keep it real. That's going to be her costume.
Is that the same image that they use on that other second print? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I think it's like an Ironheart second print where she's standing in front of, like, almost looks like the same type of image in the background.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was on the Hot 10, I think, the other week.
I think this may beat that as far as first cover, though.
Yeah, and I will also say that. So shout out to our sister show, Comic Book Women, on Tuesday nights. They were discussing this on their Riri market report list that they did, and so this is definitely one of those books. And it's funny because like it's the saying, separate the person from the art, well, separate the character or the spec from the costume. I hate this suit, but I can completely get behind the spec value, and I will definitely be on the hunt for these to flip when the opportunity arises. But I definitely cannot stand this suit.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's different, but I've seen some like sketch art where they're actually going to show her face through the helmet, so that's kind of a different twist. Like, you see where her gold on her face is. Mm-hmm. They have it to where it's like clear, and I guess the heads up display will appear like what you see in another comic with the cylinder and everything, like the readouts that Stark would have in his helmet. Mm-hmm. So that might be a twist on that, and I kind of would go for that instead of the yellow.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about, guys, and I see a couple people talking about in the chat the keyhole variant, and it just really reminded me a lot of this. So
that's right.
Beautiful job on art for both. So
yeah, both stuff. Covers too. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Yep. For our number 6 book, we have Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, number 1.
So this is a book that I don't remember exactly who recommended it, but I loved them for it. This is like some spec that like just seems to never want to die. It's the first appearance of Firestar, but it's not in continuity. But the market has really kind of like made a 180 on that whole like idea of like, oh, continuity versus a kid's comic or things like that. With Harley Quinn's first appearance being vehemently Batman Adventures is the book to have, and what was that, Detective Comics or Batman of No Man's Land story that she makes her in continuity appearance and Mad Love and things of that nature. But like the first appearance is the first appearance in continuity or otherwise. So with everything that's going on in the multiverse, the ultimate, mutants coming sooner than later. This is a great book to invest in. It also plays on the nostalgia as well. So you've got the Spider-Man and the whole Amazing Friends angle. This is, if you can get your hands on this is kind of a no-brainer book to get your hands on.
Yeah, I would love to find this book. This is a book that has eluded me throughout the years. Never seemed to find this book. One of those books that I think every comic fan should kind of own.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that are our age and that grew up in that time where you woke up and chose which cartoons to watch, and this was one of them. So, good stuff.
For our number 5 book, we have The Eternals number 3.
Well, this is this first Circe? Is that what this is?
That it is.
You know, the book that everybody was talking about recently, number 7, I think, because of the Celestials talk, which is very interesting. Phil probably knows a little bit more about that stuff than me, but it's interesting to see Eternals showing up on these lists again after the second trailer and all that goodness. Phil, you there? Phil is not there.
Yeah. So to kind of come across the top on what you're saying about the trailer. It's amazing how a good trailer can make the difference between moving books and not moving books, and ultimately how a good movie can make the difference between moving books and not moving books. But people were really not feeling that first trailer so much, and sales were definitely kind of reflecting that. And then they finally got a trailer out there, that final trailer out there that really kind of showed people like, okay, this is what the movie's about, and I can get on board with it, and I'll be able to I can rock with this. It really, and yeah, this also has, it's that first appearance of Circe. I was talking about that last night. I misspoke saying that number 2 was her first appearance, with number 3 being her first appearance. I think that Circe has a strong chance of being the character that continues forth. The way that they kind of focused on her in a bunch of those early trailers. She's got the love affair with Icarus and also the Black Knight.
That's going to be very interesting how they play that off.
Yeah, so I've got a sinking suspicion she's going to be the one that continues forth and will be the more prominent of the Eternals featured. I made this statement last night. I just don't see you carrying 8 characters who were basically Ubermen, they're for all intents and purposes, they're gods. So having them running around and that many of them, they basically become the Deus Ex Machina of the MCU. It's like, well, why do we even need to fight? Just go call the Eternals. So having too many of them around starts to make story problems. So I think no more than maybe 1 or 2 will continue forth in the MCU, and I think Circe will probably be the one.
Yeah, doesn't she join the Avengers at some point?
Yeah, in the 80s and the early 90s, I think she was a member of that third run team.
Black Knight, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Time. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah. So, if you're probably even playing the long spec on this stuff, as Drew said, this stuff you could find in every short box in every comic book shop in the country at one point. It was just full of Eternals.
Brian, here's how it goes. If that movie comes out and Angelina Jolie does a phenomenal job and the likability is there and that character resonates with people, then this book takes off on a life of its own. But if this movie turns out to be like the Inhumans, right? And I hope Marvel's not kind of feeling, oh, we can just put anything out there and we'll make $1 billion. I hope that's not where this whole thing is, because those trailers really did nothing for me. But if you want to take a gamble, this would be a book.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The Circe stuff is also pretty interesting. Have we heard anything talk on any of the new stuff that's coming out where they're bringing up Circe stuff?
Now, you're talking about the new Eternals titles?
Yeah, anything that's being published right now that's new. Chat, let us know if there's anything going on with her, because usually they drop stuff, a couple months before it's a major player in the universe, right? That they want to key in on. So it'd be interesting to see if we start seeing more stuff about her being published by Marvel Comics. So good stuff.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our number 4 book. At number 4, we have Ironheart number 11.
Yeah, so this is first Dune, Riri's father. He's involved with the Ten Rings, so it's kind of curious that they're gonna have Riri in 3 projects next year now, right? And Shang-Chi, the movie, is before those 3. So definitely a good play. Pretty cool cover of Riri there in the graveyard. So I think it's only maybe a $20 book right now. So definitely a good investment. If Dune becomes a villain in 1 or 2, 3 projects or TV shows for Riri. So good shout out. I'm gonna shout out to Josh Allen on this pick.
Who is how do you say that character's name again? How's it spelled?
Dune, like the movie, Dune.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, and I hope to see Josh Allen on here one day. But I know he's busy tonight doing his first Whatnot sale. So if you're looking to buy some books, I know he has some foreign goodies up his sleeve. So
Yeah, don't buy anything from Josh, man. Don't buy anything from Josh.
all right, for our number 3 book, we have Something Is Killing the Children, number 10. So, I mean, who would have guessed who nominated this book, but other than me. I feel like this is a very important book. It's the death of Aaron, so spoiler, but I mean, this has been out forever. And anyways, there's definitely a 1 in 25 for it, and there's also a second print. First print's A cover, which is shown here, is only up to like a $10 book. It's definitely hard to get in high grade because there was a spine take that came right about around his wrist. That is pretty easy to see, like if you hold up a bunch of them together. And I feel like it's going to play a lot with the House of Slaughter. So we're getting more of the backline stories of Aaron, and then it's kind of like one of those stories where he dies, and it's how did we get to this point? So, yeah.
Did I buy the second print from you, Aaron?
I think you did. You bought a second print?
Yeah, it came damaged, dude. I want my money back.
I'll send you another one. But yeah, the second print, it's a all orange background cover.
Yeah.
And it has Aaron on it, which was a panel in the book.
Yeah,
and
that one's a sweet cover.
Yeah, and that 1 in 25 is an Erica cover. I forget who the artist is, but she's masked up, and then like she kind of has like the outline shadow, and then for a 1 in 25, especially in this series, it's only like $100 book raw. So
not bad.
All right, let's move on to our number 2 book. At number 2, we have Daredevil Volume 2, number 10.
So this was one of my picks. It is the origin of Echo and the first appearance of Crazy Horse, her father. So, I mean, just be real about it. She's coming. There is Daredevil speculation that he's going to be making an appearance in her series after potentially showing up again in No Way Home. That remains to be seen. And they've already cast an actor who's for the role of Willie Lopez. So all signs are kind of pointing towards that her father, this father character, which is her father character, again, no spoilers, is very prominent in the motivation of her to become, the Echo, persona and things of that nature, and to, become who she is ultimately in the comics. So if the number 9 is out of reach for you, definitely go scoop up 10s. I was able to find a 10 in back issue bins a couple months ago, like 2 months ago tops. So again, shops are not really hip to this book quite yet. That everybody's pricing the number 9s, but people are forgetting about the number 10. So definitely go out there and grab you one and be ready for when she makes her appearance in Hawkeye and also in her own standalone series.
And by far, some of the best covers ever created were in this part of this run, where Quesada and Mac were both, double teaming on it. So
Yeah,
great
artwork.
stuff. Man, this run of Daredevil was had some of the best team ups between writers and artists and vice versa that happened throughout most of the run. I mean, that the Bendis and who was the artist on the Bendis stuff? I'm blanking right now, but Bendis and that artist were a huge part of it. But the Kevin Smith stuff early on, there was a lot of really good stuff in this run.
Yeah, you really didn't miss
Brubaker.
with Knights. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some people calling this as first full appearance of Echo. So, I mean, the price of this book has really caught up with number 9 big time. It's a great pick, Chris.
All right, and for our number 1 book, we have New Avengers number 7.
So this was also one of my picks, and so I'm going to remind everybody that what was it? Almost like 4 weeks ago, I called it. I was like, I promise you that we are on good authority here at Tales from the Flipside that Shuri will be the next Black Panther. So this is playing off of that logic. Certain outlets have stated that she's signed for a 12-picture deal potentially and will be leading a team. What is stopping her from leading the Illuminati? I mean, if T'Challa's gone, you sub her in. If there's all this speculation talking about bringing in that core Illuminati team, minus why am I blanking on his name right now? King of the Black Bolt. So with Black Bolt taking a back seat, they'll sub somebody in to take his place. But I see there being strong possibility of us getting an Illuminati team in the near future. And for what these books cost, I mean, I was able to find one the other day for like $20. I mean, if it hits, then you're making money. If it doesn't, well, $15 to $20 isn't the worst. We've wasted money on worse spec. So I'm definitely a big supporter of the Illuminati getting this day in the sun in the future. Them potentially even being a potential it having a almost like dark turn to it potentially in the future as well, in the same way it did with the whole World War Hulk and World Breaker Hulk scenario as well. This is definitely not a bad book to just have in your back pocket in case it does pop off. Even
with that Sentry spec being part of it too, because that Sentry stuff was some of the best stuff in comics at the time. I know it's kind of crazy to bring him into the MCU, but it could be a really long play, especially with that Neil Adams variant of this. Well, I mean, that's not so crazy, man. Like, if DC is really struggling to get Superman off the ground, so if you beat them at their own game with basically a rip-off version of their character, I mean, Thanos popped a lot more than Darkseid did. So that is a great point. I've never thought of it like that. Yeah, that is a great freaking point.
Yeah, Chris a month ago called it. He was the first to, bring up Shuri being the next Black Panther, and then 2 weeks later, other outlets are saying you heard it here first and putting it on their website. And shout out to Chris. Great intel. I appreciate it. But if you guys aren't picking up what Chris is saying, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, and I'm sorry, one little point, but I will tell you for sure, MCU executives have read this book, because the prison that Zemo is in first appears in this book, and Doctor Strange, according to the story, brings together the Illuminati in response of a prison break there. Off the top of my head, I can't think of the prison's name. Someone in the comments or someone on the panel here can assist me. The Raft, yes. The Raft first appears in this book. So, connect the dots,
Did you guys see the prices of Black Panther 2? Have they been climbing since the news? Because I feel like the Shuri talk is way bigger to me. And I've said this, I know I'm a homer for this, but I said it on other shows that I feel like the Shuri is the stuff that we should be talking about rather than the Ironheart stuff. The Ironheart stuff's as good, but the Shuri stuff to me seems like at least more people were playing that spec for a long time.
Honestly, I think all the controversy around the actress playing Shuri only helps that spec. It's better to be talked about than not talked about at all. And like she was casted for a reason. She's a hell of an actress, right? So, unfortunately, we lost a great actor in Chadwick Boseman, but the MCU rarely gets it wrong around their castings. I mean, you know, they found something there, and from what I understand, they want her to be like the Tony Stark of this new movement with new characters. I mean, not really new, but her role as the Black Panther.
Yeah.
And and it's still not out of play for Michael B. Jordan for Black Panther 3, but all intents and purposes, she's the new Black Panther, and if you're not scooping up number 2, you're going to regret it when that's a $2,000 book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good stuff.
So to answer McClay's question, so I've been watching BP2s very closely. 9.8s were the day of like this alert went out and that information broke. It went from a 850 9.8 to I think they're floating around 11, almost 1200 right now. So that book's probably going to make the list for the top 10 this week because probably about 10 of them sold like that day.
Wow.
when that announcement dropped. So yeah, if you listen to us and get your information here first, we told you to go buy them when they were an $800 book, and I told you I was like, it's going to be a $2,000 book by the time it's all said and done. I hope you went and got your copies.
Well, it's funny because even thinking that to me is like, yeah, it was $800, and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, even at $800, that seems like a ton for that book. That book has been in our vision for a long time now, and it's starting to pay off, which is nice. So I even see crazy numbers. I think a newsstand versions of 2 and 3 just sold for $900 raw. So good stuff. Great picks this week, guys. 165 live to the end. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Appreciate it. Listen, Thursday nights, we're going to really try and make that our premiere spot on the network now. And we're going to get the Spec 10 list just rocking over here. So we're going to do our best to get engagement from you guys and figure out ways to have you guys be part of the show. So thank you to everybody that have hung out with us live, and to everybody catching it on the flip. Thanks for rocking with us all the way through this.
But before we sign off, I want to announce what our top 5 books from the audience was that voted on our poll junkie. So at number 1, they had Eternals number 3. Number 2, they had Daredevil Volume 2, number 10. At number 3, they had Ironheart number 11. Number 4 was New Avengers number 7. And our number 5 book from the audience was Department of Truth number 4, the 1 in 25. So thank you for participating.
Cool stuff.
All right. Any last words from anyone?
No, I mean, going live is a little bit different. It's
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a fresh way to kind of do something different than kind of being restricted to doing it the other way. Kind of love this freedom.
We're going to make professional podcasters out of everybody now.
Yeah. And I'll say this as well. If you're not watching the other content on this channel, you're missing out on some great stuff. I mean, like Comic Book Women are killing it on Tuesday nights. The guys
that
on
stuff was awesome.
Oh, that was so good. I mean, the Saturday night shows, like everybody's doing great work around here. Like definitely support the channel, go watch the shows. Like, we're definitely, if you're listening to us, we're putting money in your pockets. I promise you.
Amen.
All right. We'll catch you on the flip side.